Do you prune a branch to save a dying tree? No. You start from the roots. Modern society has a tendency to fix the issues of only symptoms that appear, and that only inevitably works partially. You take a symptom like world hunger, and instead of trying to solve the root cause of it, trying to plant and distribute more crops, you make a little donation to a kid in Africa. To most, I believe it's hardly about actually solving the problem and more like feeling that you did something towards it. Yes, it's something, but in the case if you actually want to do the most good for each input, if you want to help with every second that was available, it pales in comparison. And the problem with just trying to fix the symptom is that as fast as it may go away, it can easily come back just as fast. And only by solving the root cause do you prevent more of a specific symptom from arising. You don't only solve for that one symptom, but rather any that may arise from the substantial and the most fundamental issue. Causes branch like trees, and where solving the symptom is just one problem, you can prevent multiple symptoms with the same root cause solution. It serves to reason that if you take this chain further back in terms of causes and symptoms, you solve a more primal root cause, everything downstream of that becomes much easier. We should understand this inherently, but it seems as if though we have been blinded to it nowadays. We are too distracted to weigh issues, so we conflate each is equal in their severity, which is not the case. I think it's because we're bombarded with issues daily. We become so easily desensitized to it. Were this 50 years ago, maybe we would have some sort of scale on the severity of each issue as it arises, but take the capture of Maduro. Large news story, you capture the president 50 years ago of any country, and that is insane news, but now it sort of just feels like last week's news, and that seems to be reported at the same scale as a woman being shot after driving over an ICE agent. I mean, both newsworthy stories, no doubt, have you, but it just doesn't make sense in terms of scale. So what does seem to be the root cause of modern issues, and not just modern issues, but earlier issues and future issues, and that will continue to be a root cause of issues unless we may prioritize it. Last video we discussed levels of integral theory, but only at the ones of our societal level. The truth is that each of us contain levels prior to the one that we tend to operate at, and varying aspects may be at different levels. These are called lines. We understand that the entire human population at least spans a level 1. Down here it is the primal degree of thought, where instinct and innate sense rule over any other sort of construct that we may create after it. Biology is a primary driver, and that is where it starts. This is called level 1, but I call this the base, survive and reproduce. Because it is the primary drives of everything that we do, because it is so fundamental to humanity, this is where we should be looking at for human-derived issues. But there doesn't seem much that can be acted upon, right? I argue the opposite, that targeting the causes that break down our survival and reproduction are the culprits. Our human nature, emotions, tendencies can be traced back and derived from these levels, so it serves to reason. Repair the base, build up. So what can we do to survive and reproduce then? Survival we can quite easily attribute to longevity, so increasing lifespan and health span. We already have a good amount of research and people working on this. What is less understood though is the aspect of reproduce, especially of that of the capacity to reproduce. Now you may have barely heard this topic, but it is detrimentally an understated issue. Men's testosterone and sperm count has been dropping consistently about 1% each year over the last couple of decades. And that is just a factor in a larger issue of declining birth rates globally, but even more so in Western countries and, quite frankly, severely in Asian countries. This means we are not having enough children to currently replace the population that we have right now. That leads to shortages in job positions, in the economy, building businesses, in terms of innovation, in terms of honestly just populating cities and populating buildings, and being able to especially take care of the elderly population who are living longer and longer and who at the older age then need care. That means we, in about 50 years, will have nearly an equal amount of elderly people as we do working class people. It is a balance that is unsustainable with current technology. So this isn't one of the largest issues on the planet, but it may be one of the primary issues we need to solve in order to solve further issues down the line, particularly male fertility. Solve it, and its implications carry across all of society from a more fundamentally stable layer. Only then can we build from it, and at the base of the spire, which applies to all on Earth, and then subsequently develop solutions that go up. Fertility is a particularly interesting aim because it not only aims at aiding in improving birth rates, but rather also causes a byproduct of increased energy and vitality in men at a time when we feel like we are constantly drained from it, giving them more of a baseline to improve productivity, and that spans across every domain, improving every capacity. And where there's capacity, there's actualization. We see in our modern world that we have outsourced this capacity, though, to different tools such as AI. These should not be replacements for what each individual should have as a capacity within themselves, at least not the basic ones. Having cognitive, emotional, physical capacity, and control of these throughout varying different ranges. The hedge against AI domination will not span to everyone, but those who are able to have these internal capacities, they will not be replaced so easily because they have the ability to adapt. This is one of the foundational concepts at Aleph: restore the base and build back up from it. That is why we are particularly targeting at this stage male fertility solutions. Through education, making aware of the issue of declining birth rates, testosterone and sperm count in our society, and then going above and beyond that, and ideally creating a tool that will help you track that for yourself. The more individuals we can spread this message to, the better. So subscribe, like the video, and share it to spread this message. This is the time we need it the most, and most importantly, join our community. Link will be in the description. In the end, we are only as good as our ability to solve these issues and take action on them. Partake in discussion with us, and potentially build solutions in a way that you may uniquely do so.